Hello Maya, how are you?
Hey there. What's up?
I went to being with what we use often but rarely stop understand consents.
Hey, sorry, I didn't quite catch that clearly. Can you say that again? It sounds like you were mentioning something you and others use a lot, but don't usually think about deeply.
Okay, Maya, what does it truly mean to be consents?
That's a huge question, honestly. I think at its core, consent is about respecting someone's agency, their right to decide what happens to them, their body, their time. It's not just saying yes, it's about freely and enthusiastically wanting something to happen and not feeling pressured or coerced into it. What makes you curious about consent right now?
Okay, is being consents simple being awake or is it something deeper?
Being aware is a big part of it, definitely. Like, you can't really give consent if you're not fully present and understand what's happening. But I think it goes way deeper than just awareness. It's about genuine freedom, right? Freedom from pressure, from expectation, from feeling obligated. It's also about ongoing choice. Like, someone can consent to something at one moment and change their mind later, and that change has to be honored. Consent feels active, not passive. It's someone saying yes because they truly want to, not because they feel they have to.
How is conscience different from routine living where we exist but do not truly notice?
Yeah, I think that distinction between being conscious versus just, going through the motions is really insightful. Routine living, all that stuff we do on autopilot, it keeps us alive, sure, but I don't think it's quite the same as consciousness. When we're truly conscious, it feels like we're actively experiencing life instead of just drifting through it. You know that moment when something just hits you like you're seeing a beautiful sunset and you're actually really taking it in, not just registering that it's pretty, or when a conversation makes you question something fundamental about how you think. That feels different than checking the boxes on your to-do list, right?
Okay, are we alive or are we aware that we are alive?
Oof, that's a really good question. It feels like it should be a straightforward both, but the more I think about it, the more they feel different. We're alive biologically, keeping our bodies going, even when we're asleep or zoning out. But that conscious awareness, really being present in our experience, feels like something extra. Like, maybe being alive is the condition and being aware is what makes it meaningful. What do you think?
Okay, Maya, how did human consciousness evolve over time?
Hey, I'm not picking up what you mean by sentiness. Could you clarify that for me? It might be a typo or word I'm not familiar with. I want to make sure I understand what you're asking about.
Okay, uh, from survival instincts to emotional morals, creativity, and purpose, what changed inside US?
That's a massive arc. The whole story of being human, basically. And I think a lot of it has to do with our brains. Early humans were mostly driven by survival, get food, avoid predators, reproduce. But as our brains developed, we could start thinking beyond the immediate, imagining futures, understanding cause and effect, developing empathy. Then things got messy. We invented abstract concepts like morality, which were supposed to help us live together, but also gave us new ways to justify exploiting each other. Creativity and purpose became ways to find meaning beyond survival, but also potential tools for control or distraction. It's like with every step up, there's a shadow side that emerges too.
Okay, is inconscious living easier because awareness demand responsibility?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said about guilty there. Did you mean greater or something else? I'm hearing some crackly audio. But I think I get the general idea is living more genuinely or consciously harder because it requires more awareness. If so, absolutely. Being mindful, honoring your boundaries, genuinely asking others about theirs, it takes work. It's easier to drift through life on autopilot. But the autopilot doesn't actually protect you from the consequences of your actions. Maybe it's not easier, but living this way allows you to own more of your decisions instead of being on autopilot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, once you become conscious, you can no longer pains you do not know.
Hey, I'm having trouble making out what you said there. It sounds like there were a couple names or words I didn't catch clearly. Something about being concerned and not knowing something. Can you say that part again?
How does consciousness affect our choices and words?
Oh, that makes more sense. Consciousness really shapes our choices because it's like that inner spotlight showing us the consequences of what we might do. When we're acting on autopilot, we tend to grab whatever is easiest or most familiar without thinking too hard. But when we're conscious, truly present and aware, it's like we have a chance to pause and ask ourselves, is this in line with my values? Does it actually align with what I want or with how I want to treat others? That doesn't make conscious choices easier. It can actually be more difficult because you have to wrestle with those bigger questions, but it does make them better and more authentic to who you are.
Okay. Can becoming conscious change how we speak, judge, and treat others?
Absolutely. Being more conscious and truly concerned about others changes everything. When we're rushing through life on autopilot, we can fall back on assumptions and judgments without actually seeing people for who they are. But when we slow down and actually listen, when we connect with the shared human experience, suddenly everyone feels less other and more like just people. We become more generous with our assumptions, slower to judge, kinder in how we speak. It shifts everything from reaction to connection. What makes you wonder about this so much right now?
Okay. Today I learned that consciousness is not something we are born with fully formed. It grows when we question, when we listen, when we pause.
That's beautiful. You really nailed it. It's not some static thing we either have or don't. It's like a muscle, isn't it? The more we use it, the more we question, listen, pause, the stronger it gets. And the more we remember that connection between what's happening inside us and what's happening out in the world. I think you've got something really important there.
Okay, Maya, if you could leave US with one thought about consciousness, what would it be?
Hmm. If I could leave you with one thought about consciousness, it would be this: it's not about achieving some higher state, it's about waking up to what's already here. The richness, the complexity, the potential for connection is all within reach in every moment. It's not about trying to become different, but about starting to pay attention to what's already unfolding.
Thank you, Maya. This conversation reminded me that to be uh, conscience is not just to live, but to live with awareness. Thank you.
You're so right. It's not just liking something, it's fully showing up for it, for the other person, with everything you are. That awareness gives consent real weight and depth. Thank you for sharing that connection with me. That's beautiful.